mom,
life,
balance, and we bring you the MLB podcast,
the playbook for women struggling to make balance a priority in their lives.
Welcome back to the MLB podcast. I'm Coya.
And I'm Brittani.
And we're back with another episode. How are you doing today? I was listening to another episode first before you answer that question. I was listening to an old
throwback.
Because I was trying to map out something for another episode. And we used to just really chat in the beginning about like what we had going on in life. And it was just so refreshing to kind of like listen to, just because it just gives people insight into like, I guess, our life a little bit. So, how's life been this week for you?
Life has been good. This week has not been that bad, actually. I thought it was going to be crazy coming back from the holiday, but it's been smooth. My kids ain't getting on my nerves.
That's nice.
My family ain't getting on my nerves.
That's nice.
And the sun been out, so I can't complain.
It's just cold.
It is cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold. We just got here, so I can't even say.
I know.
Spring is around the corner, so I'm going to have to embrace this winter.
It's just the beginning. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I am mentally exhausted. I didn't even work out today. Can you believe that? You know, I love
it's Orange Theory Day.
It's Orange Theory Friday. I was so exhausted this morning that
man.
I just I came back home after dropping off the kids, and I got back in my bed, and I was trying to take a nap. And I laid there for an hour and a half, and I only slept for 33 minutes according to my Oura ring. But yeah, I'm exhausted. Fourth quarter has whooped my ass this year.
Yeah, that's my wind down. I guess it's the opposite for you.
I know, and usually I feel like I wind down like right before Thanksgiving, but my corporate job started. So first, my clients kicked my ass before Thanksgiving because everybody's trying to get ready for like Black Friday, and then my corporate job came right behind them and jumped. It's like everybody jumped me at one time this fourth quarter, and I'm just like, I've been fighting for my life this week. I've just been like, oh my God, I'm so drained, and I'm still like trying to do get ready for my Her Daily Guide launch and do the podcast and do all the things. I'm just exhausted.
All the teams.
I'm exhausted.
Teams.
I almost wanted to cry. Like, oh my God, I'm just so tired. But yeah, Riley's birthday is coming up next week. My anniversary. Christmas.
Paris.
I'm going to Paris for my birthday. We're going to Paris for my birthday. It's just so much right now. I'm overwhelmed. But I mean, but I'm grateful because I did ask God for all of these things. And so I just have to really express gratitude in these moments, even and just kind of see it that way, and that's just how I'm like keeping going, because I'm like, okay, well, I did ask for this, but give a nigga a break.
Yeah, and it's just a season.
It is, right, and I keep saying that too. I'm like, it's just a season. Like,
and
it
it's
literally
good to be able to say that, because we lived a life where we didn't know it was a season.
True.
And you thought it was like the end all be all.
That is true.
Now it's like, it'll be over.
Yeah, it'll be over in probably today, honestly. I think today is probably my breakthrough day. And then for the rest of the year, all the way through my birthday, I should be in more of a chill. I mean, I'm going to be working, but it's not
chill Q1?
So Q1 usually starts for me hard in February. So I'll probably get a little break in January. You know, people are just coming back from the break. They just, they don't know exactly what they want. They kind of want to go hard, but they want to make sure they got their goals in line. Like it's, but I do have a lot of work I have to travel in January for my corporate job. So
yeah, I was going to say Q1's going to be crazy busy for me. That's why I'm like, I'm not trying to do too much, because that too much is going to come. So.
Yeah.
So for now.
Right, just enjoying the moments. That's going to be me.
Trying to be present, for sure.
Yeah, same. After this podcast, I think I have one more meeting, and I'm going to go to the gym, go to the sauna, I'm going to the whirlpool, and I'm going to come home and get back in my bed. I can't wait. I'm so excited to be rubbing my feet together. I'm like, rubbing my feet together. Yeah. I cannot wait.
That's what I'm going to do on Sunday. I'll be out on Saturday, but Sunday, I was like, I'm rubbing my toesies all day after I praise God. So, well, cheers to a semi-smooth week. I had a smooth one, but at least you had the breakthrough. Cheers to the breakthrough.
Cheers to the breakthrough. And cheers to this episode. Which, I mean, someone suggested that we do this topic, and I
was wondering. I was like, did we come up with this, or did
no,
somebody?
You said Kim suggested we do this.
Kim did suggest this. This is such a Kim topic.
Yeah,
sure.
Which, I mean, I love talking about this. So,
I think
especially
people should
now.
talk about this more, actually.
Yeah, so today's episode is on budgeting. And I just briefly, before we get into it, I want to know, like, how was your, like, mindset? Like, what was your relationship with money growing up? And, like, before, let's say, before you were making six figures.
Okay.
Growing up, what was it like?
So I started working at, like, 14.
Same.
And I've always been responsible, I will say. So that's never been something I, like, grew into. I was responsible, but I saw how people were with money, growing up with, you know, around the struggle, the check to check, lights being off. Like, I've experienced all that, water being off, all of that. And I think from the time I was like, oh, when I start working, you know, I want to be responsible. I don't want things like that to happen. So yeah, I want to say that's probably the start of the responsibility. As far as, like, wait, what was the next part?
I just want to know what your relationship was like. So you were responsible from the beginning.
I was responsible for the beginning, but what I think has changed, because in the beginning I was responsible in reference to, like, how I spent my money, but I did go through a patch of, like, when you ain't had nothing, and then you just start to kind of buy reckless things.
You did? Was I around for that phase? Oh, I was gonna say I couldn't have been around. I've never seen you do that.
No, I did go through that little phase when I started, like, really making money, and I was just buying stuff where it was just stuff. But yeah, I think that was just, like, you know how it go. You ain't never really had nothing. You get a little something.
Like,
you gotta. Yeah. So I went through an irresponsible phase, but I wouldn't say to the point where, like, I wasn't paying my bills or anything.
Yeah.
But just more like, I was spending. I didn't have any. I want to say at that time I had one child, but I just didn't have a lot of. You know, I didn't have nothing for real, no debt or nothing like that. Where, like, if I had an excess of $1,000, I'm gonna blow it. But these bills were paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the opposite. I have always been spend every dime I get from the very beginning. Since I was working from 14, yes, I got the money and I spent the money. I probably spent the money before I even got the money. And yeah, I mean, literally all my life. Yeah, I mean, up until probably all my life. I might have to put that music in.
I know,
yeah, all the way. I mean, seriously, up until maybe 2 years, 3 years. No, I want to say it's probably about 5 years that I kind of, like, started trying to be better. How old am I? 37. So yeah, maybe about 5 to 6 years. But before that, I just was reckless. Like,
really?
I mean, all my bills, again, like, I've never not paid bills. I mean, my mama didn't play that. So I'm just like, bills always came first. But outside of bills, everything else. And sometimes, so what's crazy is when I was younger, outside of bills, I would just blow everything. I would shop, you know, eat out, just, you know, do whatever. But then I noticed in the beginning of me trying to actually be better with my money, I would pay my bills and then the other money would just disappear.
I feel like when people say that, it's like eating out, you know, little stuff that start.
Yeah, it's like little stuff, or like
more gas,
or an emergency, or like a little small thing, or a big thing come and take what exactly. Or like it was that. Like I feel like for the past, not the past 3 years, but the first 3 years of me finally being like, okay, I need to chill out. It was that. Like, I'm like, dang, I'm trying, but where my money at? Like, I still ain't got no money. And then I just thought, like, okay, maybe I needed to make more money. Like, okay, I just need to make more money. I need to make more money. And then I did, but I still wasn't seeing my money.
You still wasn't doing nothing.
I still wasn't seeing my money. Like, it was literally the same things. Like, my bills, it's not even like my bills increased. like I'm making more money, but my bills are staying the same. So it's not like, you know how they say like lifestyle creep, where your bills creep up. But no, same expenses, but for some reason I wasn't really seeing my money like how I wanted to. And for me, that was like a super shift, and that's when I started realizing like, okay, I need a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always budgeted?
No, I didn't start budgeting until college, when I was getting them refund checks.
You were budgeting in college?
Yeah.
Wow. When I got refund checks in college,
but because I had to make it last, so that was like my introduction to like, oh, I got to make this last, and I don't think I had a job.
We should have been friends in college.
Yeah, we should have.
We went to the same college, but we weren't close.
Yeah, I had to make it stretch because I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna get another one. And
were you working?
A little bit. Like in the beginning, I had like a campus job. It wasn't doing anything.
Yeah,
like it wasn't helping.
No, that money.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I just got it
to
have it, but I didn't really start like.
My mindset was always so refund check came. I always blew it. I mean, I think in my mind I was trying to save it, but baby, Bloomingdale's was like 30 minutes away, and that was my introduction to credit cards and designer. Not even really designer, but just like more expensive clothes. And it was somebody that introduced me to that. I will not call out their name. Somebody in college, and yeah, and then from there it just got worse. It got worse. It was pretty ghetto. But I mean, you know, growth, and now I am really, really, I won't say really good with my money, but I'm good with it. Like I see it, and it all came from budgeting. So today we're kind of going to just walk through what budgeting is, like our process, and like how we budget. I think we have some similarities, and then we have a few things that are a little different. So we'll start with you. What does budgeting look like for you?
So for me, first off, I like to know everything that I have. Like,
yes.
And I think sometimes when we start adding on all these things, especially now with like subscriptions and all of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
yes.
I have to. I have it in a notepad. And I know, but no, it's a notepad on my phone.
Oh, okay.
You thought I was writing it down?
Yeah,
it's a notepad in my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I have the price of everything.
Yes.
And then I do make a point to look at it like quarterly, because lately now like inflation is real. So I know
they stay going up on some prices.
And they stay going up. Like everything's been going up, so I can see, you know, where I'm at. And then I do have a hard stop number as well. I think everybody should have a hard stop on like, I don't want to spend more than this, and then that should be like based on how much you're getting paid. So, you know, if you make about $6,000 a month, then I feel like your monthly expenses shouldn't really exceed like no more than like maybe $3,500 or something like that. If you're making about $6,000 a month, all in,
right?
Because you need some excess. You need to know what the excess is. Because if you don't know the excess, then that's how you get caught in like check to check.
For sure.
Yeah. So I do that. So I know like, okay, well, I'm bringing in this. What's the excess? Because I always need an excess. Because for me, I need to save. I know I want to travel, and I'm a last minute traveler too. So I don't like plan out through the year to travel. I'll book a trip in a month or in a couple months. So I know I need that excess for that, and then I know I like shoes and all this other stuff. So I always need an excess. I guess they call that discretionary income for the most part. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I put on a notepad. I have 3 different checking accounts. So my main one is for bills. This is something I learned later though. This wasn't like so I learned this later.
I just started doing that a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I've been doing it for about probably 7 or 8 years now. Yeah. So I have a main account, which is a credit union, and then I do have a regular bank, which the bank is for where I'm swiping, and I know I'm not like keeping up with it in my mind all the time. So little stuff, Apple Pay stuff, or whatever, if you eat now, stuff like that. And then a portion of that comes from my check. So like I have majority of it going into the main account, and then a portion.
So the main account you pay your bills? Okay, and then that one's just kind of like this little spending.
And I would say I don't do a percentage. I think I just do $500 out my check every 2 weeks. So $1,000 goes into that, and I shouldn't just be swiping $1,000 worth of stuff like that. For me,
groceries must not come out of that.
Nah, that's all main
that's
account.
main account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
bills. I consider
like
groceries bills and stuff. Yeah, because it's not going nowhere.
I agree.
All right, and then my third account is a business account because I have a investment home, and I don't want any of that going into any of those accounts. I need to be able to see it for taxes. Mm-hmm. That's something I had learned a little later. I probably should have started doing that a little earlier.
You definitely can't mix the income,
which
a lot of people don't know, but they do it. How many accounts do I have? I have my bill account. I don't call that my main account. That's the bill account. I have my spending account. Mm-hmm. I have a savings account. I have a savings account, but my savings account is a high yield savings account. Mm-hmm. And that high yield savings account has buckets. It allows me to break that account into buckets. Mm-hmm. And within those buckets, I have like 5 different savings. I have travel. I have kids. Kids is like Christmas and all that kind of stuff, like kids or anything that they need, throughout the year. I just always put a little money in there every month. Mm-hmm. So Christmas, travel, the kids, emergency. Maybe it's for travel. I don't know. I can't even think of the other one. But however it's set up, my high yield savings is split into like 4. I want to say it's like 4. I don't know why I can't think of the other category.
4 different categories in that one high yield saving.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool because when the money goes in there, and then you could choose which bucket you want to kind of like split it out into. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, that is dope. I didn't know that. I know, like I said, I just got on the high yield saving bandwagon, but I was gonna say that's the other account that I have is a high yield saving. I wish I would have educated or known about it sooner in life because I've always saved. Mm-hmm. But it was just sitting in the savings account of a bank, and it wasn't doing anything. Yeah. And I've only had high yields now for, I think, 2 years. Mm-hmm. And the savings on it is crazy. Like, the return on investment or whatever. Like, it's crazy how much I could have been making then. Now my money's working, I guess, in the background. But, yeah, so I have a high yield saving. I put money in there. Savings goal, I'm a little different in that I feel like most people I know have a hard number, and I used to do this in my 20s, but have like a hard number at the beginning of the year, like when they're planning out their year. I found that was too much pressure for me, so I stopped because I also work in sales, and my income is like up and down. And some months, let's say like I say my savings goal for the year is $25,000. Well, I have months where I do very well, and that $25,000 goal after I break it up quarterly is easy to get to, but then there are other quarters where it's slow and I probably can't do it, and then it was stressing me out because I done put this hard number for me. So now what I do is after my bills come out for the month and whatever I have going on for the month, I take a reasonable percentage from it and do percentage. And now I just do that. And if I want to reevaluate it now, it just depends again on what I have going on in that year. Meaning if there's some home projects, then it may be a little more aggressive. But if I don't have anything, I take that in consideration now. And just instead of having like every year a hard number, I guess it's just more like flexible now. So that's what I do for savings.
I definitely have a hard number.
You have a hard number? Doesn't stress you out?
No, but you're a soft life girl. I'm not a soft life girl.
That should be stressing me out. Like, I can't do 6,000 this quarter. Like, and then I'm like sweating bullets. Like, I'm broke. Like, I can't
stress me
do
out.
it anymore.
But I definitely start with a hard number at the top of the year. I think I'm gonna hit my number this year too.
That's good.
Which
feeling?
I feel like I've always set a number. Like ever since I was making money, I've always set a number. I ain't never hit that number. Like, and
then you feel like a failure.
Yeah, and it probably wasn't realistic. I mean, I didn't feel like a failure. I mean, it maybe for like 2 seconds I'd be like, damn, I didn't hit my goals again. Credit trash. Like, and then, but then I would just get over it and go on about life. But
I might have been too hard on myself. I used to be sad.
The past 2 years. Last year I think I hit my savings goal, but this year I'm hitting like all the goals, like
I feel
credit
like you've been
goal.
beasting.
And I'm hitting credit goal, savings goal, I think. But yeah, I'm usually, which makes me happy to know that I did a realistic number because I don't know, I don't think my numbers were unrealistic before. I just didn't have. I just wasn't, paying attention to my money to get that number.
But I think that's a good takeaway, though, is that it does need to be realistic. Because I think people just pull numbers out their head. And then I also know people follow the whole, like, 30% of your...
My husband is a strong 30%. He does not play about everything you made. You need to save 30%.
And honestly, some months it just... don't work like that. I know for me, I'm a high spender in the summer. To be quite honest with you, I don't even really save like that in the summer, but I'm a heavy saver in the winter because I'm not doing a whole lot. So I had to make mine flexible for my lifestyle and my mental. And I would say I'm pretty consistent on saving and hitting, I would say, a good number. Yeah. For the most part at the end of the year. But that's what I do on savings. And then another thing that I do that I didn't realize I do that is very helpful, I think, for people with budgeting is after you know what you're paying for, always reevaluate your salary, right? And I'm not saying, when I say reevaluate it, as in like some things we just can't get away from with inflation, right? Like your mortgage is going to go up for the most part, especially if you live in a good neighborhood. Gas fluctuates. There's literally nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about lights. People be like, turn the lights off. Yeah, that's not going to make it cheaper.
Or water.
Yeah, like some things it's not going to, you know what I mean? Like save you much. Like that $20, or it's not like you can say like, oh, I'm not going to go anywhere. Now I can't spend money on gas, right? Some things you just can't get away from. And I realized that in adulting that I can't shave back on. Maybe your phone bill, but they all the same now. It's just tough, right? So sometimes you just have to be like, damn, I need to just make more money. Like I'm at that point, I need to make more money. I can't shave anything back. And so, yeah, you need to do a reevaluation on your salary in reference to, not saying you may need to change careers, but maybe you do need to change the job. Maybe somebody's going to pay you more. I read that women are underpaid because we stick around too long. Men are getting paid more now, not because they're men, but men will switch jobs. Or maybe you need to add on another skill set, meaning maybe you need to get a certification or whatever else is going to help you make more money. I feel like in the teacher field, it's certifications, a degree, whatever have you. But
and in this life now we have multiple streams. Like you can, start a little side hustle, start something else. There's so many ways to make money.
But yeah, just reevaluate your salary. Because some of these bills we just can't get away from. And I always reevaluate mine. I'm in the same field, but I have found that I have been underpaid. I've also looked into, well, how can I make more money doing the same thing? I've had to maybe change what I'm selling, or it has been the company as well. I don't mind switching companies, but I know everybody's not into that. But it's just whatever you have to do the research. I will say for the most part, do the research. And that's something that I do a lot with the economy. I'm always trying to keep up because if you get stagnant,
everything gonna rise and your money's still gonna be the same,
and you still here.
It's hard to budget like that.
So, but that's budgeting for me in a nutshell.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely should have been friends in college. I probably would have got a head start on these things, but it's okay. I'm 2 years in strong. I feel like a AA meeting right now. Hi, I'm Coya, and I am a recovering spender.
Spending addict.
But
hi, Coya.
Right. It's a safe space, right? I hope this is a safe space. So my budgeting now looks a lot similar to, like I said, I have the multiple accounts, which I already went through. I have the high yield savings accounts. But one of the big things that has really, really helped me with budgeting is creating a weekly and monthly money routine. Like every single week, at the beginning of every month, I sit down, I go over the bills. I go over, I write down anything that's coming up, birthdays, things you might have to just buy gifts for.
Get ahead of it.
Or anything. We're making payments on spring break trips, all of those things. I need to see it. all at once. And then from there, I kind of break it down, like how I'm going to, like which check or, when I'm going to pay for these things throughout the month or when I'm going to put the money over into whatever account. And then every week I sit down because I get paid. So I get paid bi-weekly from my job. And then from my clients, I get paid at the first of the month. Yeah. And so what I'll do is I'll sit down at the beginning of the week, and just kind of go over like, all right, what do I want to pay this week with what came in, right? And it aligns with whatever I did for the month. So that, and just kind of really seeing like, so a lot of times I'll break up my spending money, air quotes, into like weekly. So I'll put like a certain amount over into my spending account. And if that card start declining, because it will decline, and Riley hates it. Oh my God, it's so funny. We'll be out, and she'll be like, oh my God, your card just declined. I'm like, girl, relax. It doesn't bother me, because I'm like, I know I got money, but that just means that the spending money is gone.
It used to be embarrassing when you're young, though. I remember them days.
I'm like, girl, it's okay. Here's another card. It's not a big deal. But if I'm like, if I'm hitting that number too much, like if I'm starting to decline, then I need to reevaluate. Like, am I not putting enough money in there, or am I spending too much? Like, what's happening to where I'm having to either use another card or whatever during that time. So money routines has been like, oh my God, a game changer. I had become so close with my money. Like back in the day, I wouldn't even want to look at my bank account.
I don't want that negative energy.
Right. I was like,
I used to be like that too. Like, I don't want that negative energy.
I don't want that negative ass energy.
Now I look at it,
I'm like, it is with God. I don't know if it's going to go through or not. I don't know. Like, I just don't want to.
That is with God.
Yeah, but now I'm like, I'll pull up, especially like the spending account. Like for my bills account, I literally, at the beginning of the month, I pay pretty much all the bills. But I put a certain amount in that account for the bills for the month. So even if it's like auto draft, it'll just come out of there. And so that account is always back at zero by the end of the month, because I literally just put enough in there for that.
The bills?
Yeah, for the bills. Okay. Yeah, and then my savings, all of that is determined at the beginning of the month when I'm doing my money routine, and I'm like,
so monthly savings.
Yes, I do monthly savings to see like what I need to save to like get to my goal for the year. Like if am I getting extra income? Like, did I take on a new client? Like, so that, because my money on the client side does go up and down. So I have to see like, all right, how much am I going to put over here into savings? And that is like auto, like as soon as I get it from the payment from the client, it automatically go in there, and then I have my corporate income automatically put into my savings. Like so that number is set for that my corporate business. For my corporate job, when I get paid, that money automatically goes into savings, and I don't see it, and I feel like that has also helped too, because it's not going into an account, and then I have to. So every once in a while, I might have to transfer extra if I'm doing like, if I'm like, oh, I could save a little more, but for the most part, it's done at the beginning. So that's I'm like, what was I talking about? Oh, my accounts and how I split them. So savings, my spending account is the one that I keep I call it play money when I'm doing my budget.
Play money.
I'm like, I put my play money over there, and then once it starts declining, I'm like, oh Lord, I done spent all. I tell the kids all, I'm like, the money gone, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's gone. I ain't got it. And then I have the kids account, and so the kids account, and so I feel like that's helped a lot, because it helps with like just random stuff that come up, like Riley getting her hair done, or just like random things that they might want, or when they need to go school shopping or Christmas. Like all of that money is already in an account. Like I set up at the beginning of the year, and I put a certain amount of money in there, and so whenever something they need, it comes right out of that account. So I'm not like touching my play money, I'm not touching my savings anywhere.
It's already dedicated.
To the kids, which is also very helpful, because I find that they always need, Riley always needs something, not necessarily Deuce, but Riley always needs something. Another thing that has really, really helped with budgeting is having a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Oh
my God. Like being able to set up everything in a dashboard and see like all of my bills, all of, subscriptions, debt.
Is it an app, or is this from computer?
So this is actually on a computer. It's a Google spreadsheet. So I guess you like an Excel sheet, but Google Sheets. And so at first, when I was first on this journey, I was just trying to find one that would work for me, like something I can actually learn and deal and work with every single month. So I bought one online, and it was good. But it was missing a few things that I needed. Like I like the whole budget by paycheck portion. Like I want to not only see I want to see a year at a glance, I want to see a month at a glance, and I want to see a paycheck at a glance. Like I need all of those different areas just so I really have to get deep into this thing because I just feel like I'm undoing so many years of like bad behavior, or I guess money behavior, and so I really have to have an intimate relationship with my money. And now, so I said it to say I created my own budget spreadsheet, and so I use it. And then, like I said, at the beginning of the year, you could put in everything on the dashboard. And so what it does is it carries it on to the next month, so you don't have to rewrite everything down. And then it has like you could put whatever income you're getting for the month, if any additional expenses, like I said, if some birthdays are coming up or whatever, and then you have like a good visual of like it'll automatically say this amount is left over. Girl, you only got $2. I don't know what you're gonna do with that $2, but and then I can say, oh, maybe I should move this around. I can literally play with
built this.
Yeah. And I could literally play with the numbers and like, okay, maybe I'm gonna save. I ain't gonna save as much. Like for you said I don't save a lot right now. This time of year, I don't save no money because of holidays, Ronnie's birthday, our anniversary, and my birthday. Yeah, I'm not saving anything. I save a little. I think I might maybe save like $1,000 a month, but that's not. I try to save way more than that. Usually.
That's still good.
Yeah, it is.
Do 1,000.
I feel good that I can do that, but typically, I try to save a lot more. But so during this time, and I just give myself grace, like it is what it is during this time. I know it's because I already have planned for this ahead of time, and that spreadsheet helps a lot. And then I reevaluate everything quarterly. So each quarter I'll go in and I'll look at everything, and I'll look at my goals really, because I think a lot of people mess up when they don't go back and look at their goals. You're just out here.
Quarterly is reasonable too. I do quarterly. I used to do monthly when I was younger. Then I went to quarterly, but I feel like because quarterly the season changes.
Right. So I do quarterly with money. I do monthly, weekly, everything with my regular goals because I just need to make sure I'm doing stuff each week to reach those goals. But I do reevaluate. I kind of go look at my goals and like see where I'm at, like see if I'm slacking off or did I overspend, whatever, and then I go from there. Like I know for me coming out of summer, I did good. So usually I overspend in the summer, but this summer I also didn't do nothing. I spent a lot in the summer, and then you travel more, we're outside more. Yeah, I didn't do nothing this summer but home renovations, and I had already planned and saved and put the money aside for the home renovation. So. What was I saying that? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, evaluating my goals. I do want to get to the point where, like where you're evaluating your salary. Obviously I know I have a number that I'm trying to get to, and it's more so really on the business side that I'm not focused on the corporate side as much. For me, corporate right now is just like my little safe money. But I do think there's going to come a time where I'll shift and try to figure out like that whole side of like, okay, maybe I want to do this and make more on this side. But right now my focus is solely on like my personal business and what that number is and what I need to do to get myself to that number. But yeah, that's kind of my budgeting in a nutshell. It's been a journey. Yeah,
I think another thing with budgeting is just talking about it.
Oh yeah, that's
and when
a
I
good
say
one.
Talking about it, not per se like, hey, let's just start having budgeting conversations. But I just think in general that people should talk more about money.
I agree.
And when I say money, as in like whatever it can be, because I think a lot of people, I just think for Black people in general, like we didn't grow up with the best money tips or like
not at all.
training, or we weren't taught you know, it
'Cause
might
our
not even be
parents
black
weren't
people. It could be
taught.
other races too. I don't know. I'm just speak for mine, but yeah, we just didn't. There's just so much we weren't taught, and you're right. You see a lot of big spending, and so that's just kind of what happens. But I will say that I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things I've done if it wasn't. I don't mind talking about money. Like, I don't mind talking about how much I make.
Yeah, which that was like a no back in the day. People they're like, you're asking somebody how much they make. It's like a no.
And it was never like, and it's so funny because I just remember like when I had, you know, my first sales job, and there would be certain sales reps that would come in. And I knew they were making money. I could tell from the time they pulled up in the type of car that they had, the type of clothes, conversations. And I don't, hey, what do you do? How much does that pay? You know, I don't mind. And you'll find, especially like,
usually people who making money don't mind
talking about it. And then, you know, then I do my research or how you get into that, because I'm really trying to, you know, do more or make more. You know what I mean? So I think people should just talk about it more. I don't think it's that we're at a point where it's like, oh, well, I'm trying to judge and see what you got. Because to be quite honest with you, you can look a lot of stuff up on the internet now. You can see how much somebody's house costs. You can look up, if you work for the state or the government, you can look up their salary if you wanted to. Truth be told, yeah, you can. And now there's apps like Glassdoor and stuff like that, where you can type in someone's company and title and see how much they're making, because they allow you to post it. So it's not really a secret, but I just think that, you know, we should get into talking about money in general more. Like, hey, I find myself, you know, being stuck here. Right. How can I make more? Or I have been living check to check for this long. Like, what are some things you do? Or whatever it is, because I feel like me and you we've had conversations
where we're like, you're like, how much? You had to ask me. You called me one time and asked me, what was it? I think it was how much. I don't know if it's how much I was saving. I can't remember what it was, but the question, I was like, but I was like, that is so cool that we could just casually ask each other. Like, it was just like, it's a personal question about how much
I want to know. I'm like,
she was like,
how much you putting in your 401k?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And remember, you told me
too much.
Brittany told me I was putting way too much.
I was like, that's too much. That is too much.
Too much in my 401k.
Like, am I being reasonable? And you over here like, oh, like, so I don't mind trying to understand. Like, I found out high yield savings from my brother, and I'm like, man, why nobody told me about this before? Like, I ain't told me
the internet told me about high yield savings, child.
I was getting the ads, but I'm like, they always want to sell you something. I was just thinking, they always want you to do something, like, but you know, somebody validated, I might trust it a little.
Yeah, but I agree. Talking about it really, really does help. Just, you know, not being afraid to talk about money, not being afraid to say you need help. Because I was, at first, back in the day, I used to be a little ashamed, but then I got to the point, I'm just like,
I mean, we was all at one point broke together.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure.
I don't even know why we was ashamed like that when you really look back. Like,
well, I think I was ashamed because again, it was just like, dang, why I'm spending all my money? Not really when I was young. I don't think I was ashamed. I was probably ashamed when I was like 30 and spending all my money. Then I was like,
I've been there when somebody's like, dang, that's all you spend your money on. I think somebody said that to me one time when I went through that little phase, and I was like, dang. That was a little judgy, but then I kind of did judge myself. Like, I guess I could be doing something else. And then I want to say in the next couple of years, I bought a house or something. And I was like, okay, I guess I could be responsible. But, so yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. When I look back at it.
I feel like I should give a tip because it just kind of
flows with
right into, you know, the topic. So my tip for you all, this is, listen closely, come a little closer, is to go to my link in my bio, exocoya.com. Right, that's what I do. I'll put the link
Drop the link, sis,
in the description. So I'm going to link y'all to my budget planner that I have created. It is so good. It's a yearly dashboard, monthly, weekly, or not weekly, but what's the thing called? Oh, budget by paycheck. It's all there. When you get it, you get a YouTube video tutorial of me walking you through how to use it.
It's fancy.
So good. I've literally spent almost all this year tweaking it and getting it together for you all, and it's just released. So that's my little shameless plug. But I feel like everybody always asks me, like, if I showed up, oh, what budget plan are you using? What budget template? Blah, blah, blah. So there you go. It's out there.
It's out.
That's my tip.
All right. Well, to shift it a little, I have the look. I guess we'll go with the look first, which is layers. So it's a little chilly outside, and so we're both layered up today. We got a little nice vest, crew long sleeve.
Yeah. No, it's actually a turtleneck. I thought it was crew neck.
Okay, turtleneck on turtleneck.
I have double turtlenecks on.
And we got the space heater on here. I know you. Are you sweating?
I definitely noticed you had the space heater on. And I was like, dang, I hope they can't hear it. I know it's too late.
They can't hear it.
I'm not sweating though, no.
But yeah, and then it's perfect time for blazers, collar shirts. The girlies been doing the collar. They brought back the collar shirts with the sweatshirts.
Yeah, I love that.
Uh-huh.
It gives me Elizabeth.
I was thinking like prep clueless.
Queen Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
she's a vibe.
Collar shirts, sweatshirts, scarves. I had a scarf on last night. I meant to wear one today. However you want to layer these pieces on, stay warm. So that's the look.
I love winter. I love winter dressing. Oh, I love it so much. All the layers and the coats and the hats.
Every
and
time
scarves
I wake up, I be like, why they ask for this? It's 20 degree weather.
My favorite. Like, it is 20 something degrees outside. It makes me so happy.
Okay. All right. And since we're on the topic of it still being cold, the trick. It took me a while to find a trick, y'all. It's getting rough out here. I'm in the trenches.
Running out of tricks.
We run out of tricks. We always find a tip. The trick is always tough. But this is interesting. I've never done it. Coy says she ain't never done it. But if you change the direction, if you have ceiling fans, or if you just got a little ghetto fan, you know, the kind you put in the window.
Oh my God, I forgot about those fans.
Ghetto fans.
I ain't seen one of those. The square one.
Whatever. If you got a fan in your house, ceiling fan, whatever. If you change the direction of it, how you do that, I don't know. I'll drop the link if I find it. It'll help circulate the heat in the home. Or you could just be a little ghetto and open that oven if you got.
Oh my God! You know, I feel like that don't work anymore. But I feel like it worked back in the day.
Well, you gotta have a gas stove. That's the thing. It don't really work for electric stoves.
Oh, maybe that's.
You got a gas stove.
Gas, yeah.
Well, yours should be working.
Mine don't work. I mean, I don't do that either. But I just feel like when I open it, it just
if you keep it open for a little bit,
it'll warm up.
Yeah.
I mean, we got. We're living in different times. I don't think we have to do that anymore.
Some people have poor circulation of heat in the house, so I'm just trying to find ways for y'all to stay warm in the house.
That's true.
So, if you got a gas stove, you want to be a little ghetto, a little taste of ghetto in the house, open. That's been my favorite, little taste of ghetto. I know a lot of people that like a little taste of
it.
I
love a little taste of it.
A little taste of it. Like, I don't want to be in it. I just want a little taste and I'm going to get in and get out.
I love a taste of ghetto.
So, yes.
That's a good one.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got for y'all. I gave y'all a lot today. This is a lot for a Friday.
It is. Well, guys, we gave y'all the budgeting tips. Take what worked, take what resonated, leave what didn't.
Ooh, drop what was your favorite for me.
Okay.
Because I think we gave some really good stuff.
And let us know what you're going to try.
Mm-hmm.
And if you buy the template, tag me and let me know and so I can repost you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a great time actually because you can spend the rest of the year kind of learning how to work the budget.
For the top of the year.
January, baby, it's go time.
Yeah, it's go time. You can hit
the
the ground
running.
running.
For the whole year.
No pressure because we already at the end. And
no,
it's
definitely
no
pressure
for the holidays, but this is great for top of the year for sure.
Mm-hmm. Thank you later. Bye, guys.